Welcome! In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to erase the background of an image so that you can superimpose yourself or someone else onto a different background picture, as discussed in the Seeing Yourself in the Story workshop. I'm going to do this on an Apple computer, but it works the same no matter what computer you're using because it's a web-based program that we will use. So I'm going to start by going to my browser. In this case, it's Firefox. It could be Google Chrome or Safari. We are going to go to our address bar and we're going to type in Pixlr.com, Pixlr.com/editor. If you forget editor, you can navigate to the editor through Pixlr.com, but this is just much easier, so I recommend that. Once you get to the editor, this will automatically pop up. We are going to take the images we already created and took and change them. So we're not creating a new image. We're going to open our image from the computer. So I'm going to click on Open Image from Computer. Once I do that, I'm going to go to the area where I know my computer files are. You have to figure out where your pictures are. Mine, I'm going to grab this one called Layup, is going to be the first one that I edit. And you just click on Open. My picture right now is sideways, so I need to flip it so that it's not sideways. So to do that, I'm going to go up here to where it says Image. That's right here on the toolbar. I'm going to click on Image, and I'm going to rotate the canvas 90 degrees clockwise. That means it's going to go this way like a clock. If you want it to go counterclockwise, I would choose the CCW, counterclockwise, but that would make this person upside down. So I'm going to rotate the canvas 90 degrees, and now my student is right side up. So what I'm going to do is notice first that I can't really see his whole body or his whole picture. So I'm going to just stretch this out until I know the whole picture is in the screen. That way I don't miss any of the pieces that I want to fix or erase. So now I need to erase all this background. I'm going to go to the eraser tool right here. It looks like a pink eraser. You're going to click on it. And then if you start drawing right away, you'll see it changing the background to white. That will actually not work for what we're doing. We don't want the background to be white. We want it to be clear. So to fix that, we're going to go over here to the Layers section. That's the Layers heading. And you'll see over here a little lock. If you double click on that lock, it unlocks that layer to let us make it clear. So now if you go to Erase, you'll notice it turns into a checkerboard. That checkerboard is just so you can see where you are and where you're going, but that checkerboard means that that area of your picture is going to be clear. Now it's going to take me a while to do all of that with that tiny tool, so I want a bigger brush. So if you go up here to your brush area, you're going to click on a brush and choose a bigger one. Now these are all presets, meaning you can just click on one, but 200 is even pretty small. I'm going to go up to maybe 500, 530. And that's going to be a big enough brush. And then click towards your image. Now you see how big that brush is, and it's going to make it a lot easier for me to get rid of all the big space. Now I'm going to give you a little tip here. If I were to do that again and accidentally erase his head, but keep going and do this all in one motion, then once I realize, oh no, I erased his head, I will have to undo it. If I undo it right now, which I can either go to Edit and click Undo. If you're on a PC computer, you can just do Control Z. If you're on an Apple, you do Command Z. But if you undo, it's going to erase everything you just did. So just be careful that every once in a while you let go of your mouse. You can even do one little circle at a time. Right? It just makes a circle, and then if you need to undo, it just undoes that one circle that you did. So I'm going to take a quick minute here and just erase all these big spaces. So here we are. I've got most of the big space out of the way. This is really enough. However, some of you are going to want to be a little bit more precise. Remember that the point of this is to help us with our writing. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but we do want to kind of get in some of those smaller spaces. So we're going to choose a smaller brush. Remember that we go to the brush area, and right now it's at 530 in diameter. We're going to shrink that. Really going to around a 50 is usually a good spot. And then we can get into those small spaces. Again, this does not have to be perfect. You don't have all day to spend here getting it perfect. If you want to do it at home and get it perfect, that's an option. But here at school, we're just trying to get it good enough to help us as a writing tool. Once you put your image on something else, it's going to be pretty hard to see some of those little spaces, and it's still going to be a great help with your writing. So here he is. You can still see down here. I could have gotten closer and gotten more of that leg, but I don't want to spend so much time doing this that I miss out on all the time for my writing. So I didn't do too much. Now that I have my background gone, I need to save this new picture that has the background gone. So to do that, you go to File and you go down to Save. Once you click on Save, you need to name it something that you're going to remember. Layup is fine for me. You may have to talk to your teacher about how she wants you to label your files. Whatever you name it is fine. If that's what your teacher says is okay. Here's the most important part. It says Format down here. Right now it's set as JPEG. That's a type of file. It is not going to work for you. If you save this picture as a JPEG, instead of this background being clear, it will be white, and then you won't be able to see the picture behind it. So we're going to go over here to choose PNG. You'll notice it says transparent. That means clear, and that means that if we choose the PNG file, whatever we erased will be able to be transparent because that's how we set it. And you'll notice once you click on PNG, it changes this to that background. To make it clear, it doesn't really work. It wants to show you that it will be clear, so you'll always see that black or that gray and white checkerboard to indicate that it is clear. And now you're done. You're going to press OK. It'll ask you where you want to save it. I'm going to save it to my desktop. You're going to ask your teacher where a good place is to save it. So I've just saved the image. And now we're all done with that picture. If you're going to edit another picture, you just go back to File and then Open Image to choose the next image to work on. Otherwise, we can start putting these images on new backgrounds, which will be covered in another tutorial.